We are all running out of time. You feel it when a summer ends, or when you notice a new line around your eyes in the mirror. Aging is the one inescapable physical reality we all share. Over 400 years ago, William Shakespeare wrote Sonnet 73, a 14-line poem that stands as one of the English language's most famous meditations on decay. On its surface, it reads like a list of things dying, but reading it as a simple lament misses the point. Shakespeare engineered a specific psychological trap. Shakespeare embedded a hidden countdown clock directly into the poem's structure. The sonnet is divided into 3 4-line sections called quatrains. A quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines, usually having alternate rhymes, and each one represents a shrinking scale of time. As we move through the text, the timeline collapses inward. The time frame shrinks, shedding the larger units of time, until we are left with the fastest ticking center. Tracking this shrinking timeline reveals the specific argument Shakespeare makes about human connection. The clock starts in the first quatrain with the largest unit of time. The speaker compares his stage of life to the turning of a season, specifically the slow transition from autumn into winter. He points to the yellow leaves, or none, or few, hanging on boughs shaking against the cold. It's a picture of late-stage life, losing its warmth and vitality. This photograph illustrates his phrase, bare ruined choirs. He connects barren trees to physical, decaying stone arches, the remains of destroyed English monasteries. This first stage operates on a macro scale. A season takes months to turn. While the approaching winter feels monumental, the end still feels distant and manageable. Then the lens tightens. In the second quatrain, the time frame snaps down from an entire season to a single evening. We watch the twilight fade in the west, representing the transition from life into black night, death's second self, sealing up all unrest. We dropped from tracking months of autumn leaves to tracking the fleeting hours of a sunset. On this human scale, the threat of the end feels immediate. It is no longer a distant winter. The darkness arrives tonight. By the third quatrain, the timeline collapses entirely. We zoom past the season and the day, straight into the brief lifespan of a dying fire. The speaker is now the glowing of a fire lying on the ashes of his youth. It is a fragile, intimate image of finality. There is a tragic, inescapable paradox in the ash. The fire is consumed with that which it was nourished by. The very wood that fueled its life has turned into the ash that now extinguishes it. Consider the acceleration we just experienced. Months of cooling weather, hours of fading twilight, and final minutes of an ember. The countdown has hit 0. The reader is cornered by this shrinking timeline, pushed into a state of urgent awareness. Why manipulate time to make the reader feel this accelerating dread? The answer lies in the volta. In a sonnet, the volta is the dramatic pivot or turn in thought, typically occurring in the final lines. The final 2 lines read, "This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long." The focus snaps away from the speaker's decay to the listener's reaction. The shrinking timeline acts as a high-pressure catalyst designed to trigger an immediate emotional response. This reveals the core paradox of the poem. The acceleration of death is the force that gives human love its strength. We often think relationships require permanence to be meaningful. Shakespeare argues that fragility is the primary fuel for deep connection. The internal logic of the poem's structure, the countdown clock we tracked from seasons down to seconds, creates the weight of this conclusion. Recognizing the ticking clock of mortality shows that the present moment is the only thing we truly possess.